rap news, street politics, best hood channel on YouTube. And we back again speaking on that new membership coming out the Stinc team looking to heat the city up with the beef, man. Now, before we get started, man, we still on the road to 100K. We done touched 90K, man. We got a shout out to all the subscribers, everybody that's been rocking with the channel. And for y'all that watched our Mexican Crips video, man, the young members coming out the east and the west side, y'all seen us talk about G Money DT, Playaways, and the new Stinc team movement that's looking to revive the beef between the Stinks, the Crips, and Inglewood, man, in the city. So for y'all that don't know, we got to give a backstory about the Stinc team in Inglewood. We know the case that Draco sat down on that he beat. It was a member of the Inglewood family named Red Bull that had got chipped at a party, and the Stinc team was responsible for that. Now, you know, the Stinc team has always been rolling with some Crip representation in the city, whether it be the 40s, the Hundreds. They always been around some Cripping in the city, and it's been with that neighborhood car. So already some dudes that was beefing with Inglewood before the Stinc team was formed. Now, you know what transpired with Draco at this concert. Inglewood dudes end up getting up with him, and he's no longer here. You know what I'm saying? So that put Ralphie in a position to keep the Stinc team name going. You know, we seen dudes like Money Monk, OTM, and Rimble fall off to the side. We seen dudes like K7 still staying solid with rocking with the Stinc team, man. But, man, they got a new recruiting class on the east side and the west side with some dudes, especially from that East Coast card, man. We just seen Day 3, Uchi Boy, and Playaways from 6 Deuce East Coast all attached themselves recently to the Stinc team. And you know how the East Coast roll, man, whether it's the 6-pack, 7-6, 8-9, 9-7, Q102, them dudes be tight knit on the east side. And we see Playaways functioning heavily with his East Coast counterparts, as well as G Money DT from West Side rolling 90s. Now, recently we seen Playaways and G Money kind of get into a situation with Drex the Joint and Rowdy Rax.
Ugly. I ain't gonna lie, you playing with your life. If you trust me, if it's beef, there ain't no need for discussion. I'm bouncing out, don't need permission. Don't ask me about no.
Now, Drex the Joint is not an actual Sureño gang member. He's from a crew called Southside Jackers, but he grew up in a hood called KPC 13 out in that Anaheim area. But Rowdy Rax is gonna be some representation coming out the south side from Puente 13. Now, the crazy thing is, man, we done seen G Money DT make a record with Drex the Joint. They got a music video and all. So with G Money DT being really tight knit with Playaways and him performing with Drex the Joint, I'm pretty sure that them dudes all had a mutual situation going on where they was all cool at one point. But it seemed like some personal shit transpired at a Drex the Joint show in LA, and shit clearly went left after that situation. We seen some people talking about Playaways and his crew may have knocked somebody out, and somebody from Drex the Joint crew trying to air Playaways shit out with a couple shots in his car. Now, after that, we seen Drex the Joint pull up to Jesse Owens in the 9-0s, and in turn, we saw G Money DT and Playaways pull up to La Puente in Rowdy Rax hood, you know, trying to do some block banging out there. Now, I don't know exactly how Rowdy Rax came into play. He was probably at that show with Drex the Joint, and it all just went left. But it's just crazy, you know, you got a bunch of Hispanic rappers, 2 that's on the south side and 2 Crips. You know, I don't know if it was the gang banging that took it off, or you know how some south side rappers may see some other Mexican Crip rappers and like may not think they official. I don't know exactly what happened, but either way, the shit went left, man. And like we spoke on when we covered G Money DT and Playaways hadn't sat down yet. G Money DT was doing some time previously as a juvenile, but Playaways hadn't touched the county and he ain't went to the pen yet. So after this situation, he finds himself in the county, on which I presume is some unrelated charges. And it looked like he just got his feet wet with that shit, but he already out now, so it was a little slap on the wrist type shit it looked like. But either way, these dudes are trying to play ball outside. And that's exactly what we said when we talked about these dudes in that last video that we did on the Mexican Crips. Now, I don't know why Drex the Joint is kind of putting gang implications on the shit with pulling up to Jesse Owens, because he hasn't fully aligned himself with being from a set. So I think them some dangerous games, man, to be playing with as somebody that's really not affiliated with this shit. Whether you rolling with these dudes or not, that's cool, but he ain't really stamped it that he was one of them. You know what I'm saying? So I think he out of bounds for pulling up to the 9-0s hood like that and trying to stun in somebody else's section, whether it's a crew or not. But, you know, crews beefing with gangs is really nothing new. But, you know, I think that shit out of bounds because it can get out of hand real fast. And you know, somebody that also has something to say in this beef, man, and we got to shout him out. Chino the P, man. Free Chino the P. He was also seen beefing with both of these dudes after that situation transpired between Playaways and Drex the Joint. We seen him make a comment basically saying both them dudes is goofy. Drex the Joint was saying Chino was a fan at one point, man, and Playaways said what he said. But again, it's Free Chino the P from Body O Evil, man. We just seen him go down on a crazy high speed where he jumped out and tried to get on foot in Sun Valley 18th Street hood off Lancashire, man. But as we can see, man, the Stinc team is involved in a lot of beef in the city, man, between a lot of rappers and a lot of different hoods in the section. And you know, with Drex the Joint pulling up to the 9-0 Park, it got some attention of some hoovers in the section as well. We seen Young Threat and his homie speak on the situation of them dudes pulling up at Jesse Owens, you know, disrespecting the 9-0s. And this could be, you know, the start of a new alliance in terms of just some rap music and shit.
Oh, they all up in their shit. Oh, we finna go program with them niggas, understand?
Tell them niggas tap in. We about to go fuck with them. We about to go pull up on them niggas right now. We about to go pull up on them right now.
Like I said, I don't think Drex the Joint has aligned itself with no gangbanging, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see Young Threat and Drex the Joint on a new record together now that Drex the Joint has kind of taken on a beef with Young Threat and Amigos, you know what I'm saying? So that's just something to see. But something that was real controversial a couple years back when Draco was still alive is we seen him take a picture with Treyway, another member from Hoover. And that was something that really started off our channel when we was saying that Draco was kind of doing too much, taking pictures with Treyway, knowing all his homies is from neighborhood cars. So a lot's to be seen about what's going to transpire next between a lot of these dudes that's beefing in the city. But after that situation, what we seen most recently, man, is some of the other members from Stinc Team really trying to put pressure on this Stinc Team Crip and Inglewood blood beef. We see Day 3 pop up with Frosty Chain on Instagram, man.
I'm a size of burglaries, my niggas never be the victim. We don't switch lanes and gossip, I've been sliding in the business. I'm a saying, I'm a savage, I'ma find a way to get it. Niggas trying to take my life, it's just the life that I'm living. If you ain't trying to catch a hop, then you gon' probably be the victim.
Now, it's a lot of stories circulating as to how he got the chain. We know Frosty be with a lot of feet. You know, he got his hands in a lot of pots when it comes to these bitches, man. So it could have been that, you know what I'm saying? He trying to get involved with too many little pieces, ended up sitting his shit down, and somebody had some sticky fingers and slid it to some niggas from East Coast. But regardless of how it was put down, it's clear that it's Frosty's chain. He's not denying it. And actually, he trying to push a line on niggas from his hood to go ahead and get to war with the East Coast hoods. And you know, the crazy thing is, this ain't even the first time Frosty got his chain snatched by a Stinc Team member. A dude that used to rock with the Stinc Team, Paco, also from East Coast, had his hands on the same chain off of Frosty's neck, man, not too long ago.
I know who chain this is, nigga. Yeah, come get your shit back, nigga. Y'all know who shit this is. Mr. Snow Gerby. Nigga, we need that bag for it.
And you know, we seen Frosty respond by posting another chain, some more jewelry from somebody else that he claimed to be from the Stinc Team, talking about his homies had some get back. Now, I don't know if this situation gonna be the same. I don't know exactly how it's gonna go, but Frosty trying to turn shit up with some gunplay, man. So we see how this turn out. Now, East Coast is by default gonna be an enemy of Inglewood family. Even though they on the east side, man, these dudes still gonna be under the neighborhood car. We got a couple of them under that block Crip car, but for the most part, man, these dudes gonna be neighborhood Crips. And as we see with Playaways from 6 Deuce, he real tight with G Money DT, who's from 9-0, a direct enemy of Inglewood family. So I don't think it's nothing but a word with Frosty saying it's up with East Coast. It was already up. And like I said, that mean with all of them, man. So we talking 5'9", the 6-pack, 6 Deuce, 6'6", 6'8", 6'9", 7'6", 8'9", 9'7", Q102, 11-8 block, and 190, man. And we seen Frosty kind of call out to his homies behind the walls, talking about it's a green light on all East Coast. Now, I can't say Frosty can, you know, call shots and, you know, reprimand or DP niggas if they don't follow them orders and shit. But like I said, anyways, them dudes already not cool with some niggas from East Coast. So I don't think it's nothing for them dudes to be taking off on East Coast. It's really nothing new under the sun, you know what I'm saying? And you know, somebody we also seen floating around this situation, another Stinc Team member, Chief and Heavily. When Day 3 dropped that music video showing off the chain, man, we see Chief and Heavily real excited in the background, man. Not too long ago, we seen Frosty and his homies catch Chief and Heavily in the spot, man. Put the paws on dude and had him on the floor. I think they may have stripped him as well. So, this is something that's been brewing for a long time between Frosty and these new Stinc team members. But as we can see, they done got get back and got their hands on Frosty's shit. So I think this is just the beginning of what's about to transpire between the Inglewood Bloods and the Stinc team, as well as some Crips sets around the city. We done seen a lot of bloodshed coming from both of these sides in this little mini war between the Stinc team, Crips, and dudes out of Inglewood. So this could definitely have implications to be heating the city up, man, hotter than it already is. Now, like I said, not necessarily because Frosty says so, but you know how these young dudes is, man. Somebody took the chain and niggas is looking for get back. Now, with Frosty, we didn't see a situation where when he got out and Draco was out, he was popping it. He ended up getting shot and his homie ended up getting killed, man. So, he been treading lightly since then. He's still been outside pushing the feet and shit like that, but he been kind of treading lightly a little bit ever since that situation. He's starting to get his shit back now, but I think he still needs to keep his head on the swivel and move smart because shit was moving fast a couple years ago when he got hit. Now, somebody else that we seen speak on this situation who I feel like really ain't got no business speaking on this situation was Frosty old homie, Almighty Suspect. Now, Almighty Suspect gangbanging career gets an F regardless of anything, man. This nigga failed out in this gangbanging shit. So I don't know why, I think it's just his personal vendetta with Frosty, but he should leave this one aside because the gangbangers is out on this one. But Suspect, man, just a backstory on this dude's situation. He was hanging with niggas from BPS and got put off BPS, man. Niggas whooped his feet over there in the jungles and put him off. Then he ran over to Frosty Enemigos, the 9-0s, man. We seen it with Chico from 90s. He started hanging with dudes from the Enemigo side. And that's already flagrant as fuck for Suspect to have done that. Number one, getting put off. All right, I don't know what he did, but we do got some smut on the nigga name. But to go to the Enemigo section and be hanging with them and laughing at your old homies and shit on the other side, that shit weird shit. That's why I say he shouldn't even be involved in speaking on nothing that's going on between some gang members. And Frosty and Almighty beef picked up a little bit over the past year. You know what I'm saying? The little situation that happened between them a couple years back has kind of been revived. We seen Suspect dropping a diss record, going at Frosty. I don't think that means nothing. Again, like I said, with Suspect, I think he got to step aside with mixing himself in between this gangbanging shit. He had made a statement talking about he got put off BPS because he was hanging with his cousin, Go Get a KB, another nigga that was no good and got an F with his gangbanging who used to be and got put off Westside Rolling 90s. He said because he was hanging with Go Get a KB, his homies from BPS didn't like that and he got put off, man. I don't think that's a valid reason. I'm saying if you got respect in your section, you got respect in your hood. If your family from the other side, man, the homies just gonna respect that. They not finna mark you out tomorrow. You got a cousin from the other side, man. You was kicking it with them and put you off. That means they didn't respect your gangbanging to begin with. So I'm not finna take that as a valid excuse from Suspect as to why he got put off BPS. And how he was in that interview with Chico looking like Red Off Friday, laughing at a bunch of shit when Chico saying, man, him and his homies finna get up on Suspect in the county. This nigga Suspect doing all this giggling and shit, man. He playing too many games, man. Playing both sides, thinking this shit a game, laughing about everything. This is why Suspect got to step to the side with this shit. But some other nasty shit he was a part of, man, was some paperwork with his folks, man. His pops. Now, his pops was like a rapper back in the day. I don't think he was a gang member. So it was a situation where one of Almighty Suspect's people had gotten to it with some other females, and in that altercation, one of his relatives ended up getting stabbed or some shit like that. And she had got stabbed in the eye. It was a nasty situation. But then the dude from Pocket Hood, Compton, came up on the scene and started politicking, and some shit went left between Almighty Suspect side and the nigga from Pocket Hood side. Nonetheless, man, the dude from Pocket Hood ended up whipping out on Suspect and his people, and he ended up going down for the case. And we see Baron Tompkins and Baron Tompkins Jr., which is Suspect and his dad, in the paperwork telling on the whole situation. So that's why I said this nigga whole gangbanging career and all this shit, that shit bunko, man. He shouldn't even be speaking on this situation. But either way, exactly what I said in that last video with the Mexican Crips, the Stinc team is looking to revive this beef, man. They got a new recruiting class of young niggas coming out the east side and the west side, and this could heat the city up in a dangerous ass way, man. Y'all stay locked in with the channel. We got more content coming for y'all. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to this shit. Rap News Street Politics, best hood channel on YouTube.